Hello, I'm Nikolaj Lippert. I work as a full-time music educator and touring musician. I would like for you to know me a little better. I was born and raised in the second largest city of Denmark, Aarhus, Aarhus, whatever. I don't know how you pronounce that in English. And I still live here with my partner, although I do rent a room in Copenhagen as well for work. That's where things are happening. And outside of music, I spend a lot of time with my partner. I spend time running, meditating, and I spend time baking sourdough. How did I become a touring musician? Let's go back to the beginning. My mom used to be a physiotherapist who later studied psychology, and she's now working in that field. I think she loves the work. But when she was younger, she used to play classical guitar on a rather high level. And my dad used to be a full-time musician as well. He played in a couple of bands. He toured Denmark, Faroe Islands, from what I know. Later, he started up a company called Upbringing Management, which I believe began as a booking agency for all his projects, but then later developed, and over the years it became one of the biggest event design companies in Denmark. He stopped playing for some years when the company really took off, and he spent most of his time working on that. But he has picked up the bass again. Oh yeah, and he used to play bass guitar. What a coincidence. He's now playing shows again with some blues bands and his old jive band, Tintin and the Dry Cleaners. Yeah. I also have a sister, and she's a big part of my dad's company. Both my parents and also my sister has always been very supportive of my musical journey. It really laid the foundation for me to believe in myself, and they still show up at every third or fourth gig that I play in the nearby area. They'll be there and they'll be cheering, and it means the world to me. So, first years, lots of support, lots of just me playing. I woke up before school, I would practice, and my sister would absolutely hate that, but she managed and also managed to support me, even though it was annoying to be woken up by a bass guitar at 6 in the morning. When I was about 16 years old, I went to a boarding school. Before this school, I had been part of some bands in my youth. There was Age of Perspiration and the Mad Hats and stuff. Amazing. It was amazing. All of that. But when I went to boarding school, music was my focus. I only had regular classes, subjects up until around noon, I believe, and then from 1 o'clock in the afternoon and all the way till the early or late evening, I would just practice and play with bands. And then we were pretty social at night, so I don't really remember how much I slept or even how I managed to survive that. But we were social at night. One of my core memories from that time was being a part of the band Sebo Serena, which continued all the way through high school, I believe. We played an alternative rock genre inspired of lots of different Middle Eastern influences. Yeah. Loved the band, loved being a part of it. I still miss it from time to time, because we had Sebastian and Nadia playing saxophone and trumpet, and that was the last time that I really had to arrange for horns in that way all the time, and it was really an amazing experience. I think we were in the middle of planning a tour to Eastern Europe when the band broke. when people had to go to like university and stuff. And then after high school, Submarino had broken up. I went to study music for around like a year or 1.5 years, and just found out it was my thing. So I dropped out. And it's also around that time that I started playing with a Danish artist called Hugo Helmi. And man, was that an amazing experience. I got to live my dream of being a musician, touring Europe, and I got to have like a group of friends where we got really close. We played like close to, I'd say 80, maybe even 100, I don't know, shows a year. We toured quite heavily for about 3 years. I was even on my first tour in a nightliner, which is this bus with bunk beds and a lounge area. It was crazy to me. I thought that was something I would never experience, and I didn't even know it was something that it was a goal of mine till I tried it. And I even remember on that tour spending so much time playing Diablo 2 on like the hardcore "When You Die, You Die" setting with Jacob in the lounge area. Jacob was one of the guitar players. And then obviously we were affected by COVID. So the last 2 years of being a part of that band, we couldn't play. So that's just how that went. I want to talk a bit about that nightliner. The weird thing about touring in a nightliner is when you fall asleep, you've played your show in one city, you close your eyes, and then you wake up in the next city. And like my brain had such a difficult time adjusting to the new environments and stuff. It was amazing. It was so fun. And it also enabled us to experience some of the cities that we visited. Both the nightlife and also just like walking around in the afternoon before sound check. So then COVID hit and we didn't play any more shows. But around that time I started making music with my friend Renee. I've posted some of our live shows on this channel. We still make music. We've been doing so since 2020, I believe, and we are on tour right now. There will probably be more of those live shows on the channel if I get my act together and record some of it. That's been an amazing journey for me as a producer, arranger, to just learn working in that project. And then like around 2023, I got the call from Mads, who plays with the Danish artist Andreas Odbjerg. Andreas is one of the like biggest names on the Danish music scene, and Mads was having a baby. So I played for Andreas a couple of weeks. It went well, thankfully. Everyone was happy, myself included. And a couple of months later, I was asked again by Mads to sit in for Annika Aakjær, another great Danish artist. And as Andreas kept growing, Mads' schedule got tighter and tighter. So one day Annika called me and asked if I wanted to join her band. And I was through the roof. I was so excited. And I still am. We still tour to this day. She's working on an album, which will be amazing. And the band, the crew around, Annika, the engineers, like everyone it's one big work family, it feels like. Especially when we are on tour. So that's just loads of talent on stage, loads of talent off stage, and it's just an amazing thing to be a part of. I've learned so much from working with different artists, different bands, different settings. And also I'm not naming every project that I've been doing since 2019, and that's just because I want to keep the video somewhat digestible. That's just my story of how I became a touring musician. Lots of chance, lots of different things, but also lots of hard work. Like I've practiced a lot. I do go to jam sessions a lot. I network. I do all those things to stay connected with the world of music. So why am I making this video? To brag? No, it's just because now I find myself for the first time in a couple of years with some time on my hands. My calendar is a bit more open, or at least I have to fill in the blanks myself. I wanted to use this time to just I've always wanted to do sound design and make an album and see if I could earn the title as a composer. If you want to follow I stream once or twice a week, like working on some sort of album, and I post highlights on this channel. The streaming is on Twitch, the highlights on YouTube. And honestly, I'm really enjoying making those videos. And I really enjoy making these types of videos as well, where I do something and I talk about something and I score it afterwards or before. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to follow along, hit the subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment, and remember to be yourself. I think that's important. Bye.